It is my honor to introduce to you Mr. Shubhendu Kumar, Head Talent Development and Nurturing at Viom Networks Limited, a joint venture between Tata Teleservices and Cupo Telecom Infrastructure Limited, QTIL. Sir has successfully handled the merger integration of wireless TT Info Services WTTIL and Cupo Telecom into Viom Networks, thus creating India's largest independent passive tower infrastructure company. Sir has successfully ramped up the organization from a 1,600 to a 2,800 employee company in a span of 6 months. Sir has been prior associated with Shyam Telelink Limited, Spice Corp Limited, Bharti Airtel Limited under various capacities in the HR culture. Sir has also served in the Indian Army for a period of 5 years as the captain of the Regiment of Artillery. While serving in the year 1994, he was adjudged as the best young officer in the artillery division and was awarded the prestigious Silver Gun. Sir also has a keen interest in motorsports, football, and is a voracious reader, especially management book. Sir, I would like you to enlighten us with your valuable words. Sir, the stage is all yours.
Good afternoon, friends. I had purposely asked for the most difficult session. The difficult sessions in any seminar is one prior to lunch or one immediately after lunch. Because in one you are dying for hunger and one you are through with your hunger and dying to sleep. Right? So, to keep it simple, my presentation is going to talk about the things you all are aspiring, making the transition from campus to a corporate career. What all things you should keep in mind, because many a times I have seen in the past where people coming from good business schools, big dreams, and since there was no focus session talking about the basic elements which percolates into the corporate culture, so therefore you are ignorant or you are unaware about the way organizations work, and knowingly or unknowingly you fall into a trap where the typical pushback from people who are not B school grads, and they leverage their experience saying that why these people are put in a special category, why do you have alternate career path for B school grads? Why should they be equal to us when we have more experience? Without even doing that real deep dive, that there is something different. This is one education system, fortunately in India, which gives you that leverage, that you're not just getting a degree, you're actually getting into experiential learning. Whatever degrees you have earned before this is just piece of paper. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So this basically puts into the sight in terms of probably the Ministry of HRD has to think about it. What kind of education system do we have? Is it making sense? People going for MCom, BCom, PhD, and still the basics are not there. Probably that's why people go after American university or American's way of learning, because that is more focused on experiential. It's not just cramming and vomiting on a piece of paper in the exam and then forgetting about it 10 days later. That is no education. This is something which is very, very important. Every organization will have their own fundamental ground rules. What you should be doing, whichever corporate you join, take your time, understand, read, ask questions. Because initially that is very, very important. What I have tried to capture here is the basic essence which runs through almost all corporates. Professional code of conduct, There is also an organization code of conduct, which basically is the fulcrum of the organization in terms of ethics, integrity, the way you work, and what is expected out of each other. It talks about be supportive to each other in order to meet overall business objectives. Keep noticing the words which are being used. It's shifting from I to we. It is as teams you win, not as individual brilliance. Individual brilliance, yes, it works. Mavericks are required, but not in every other corporate. Probably in an organization which thrives on innovation, which thrives on research and development, their mavericks are required because they think differently. But if mavericks join in all corporates, there will be chaos and anarchy because they will be questioning everything. Always try to look at the bigger picture. Very, very important. Be long-term perspective than short-term perspective. I'm sure you people would have read about the short-term objectives which led to the downfall of the great organizations like Lehman Brothers. It's just vanished. Take complete ownership and accountability of your role. Very, very important. There is no someone behind me who is going to cover up for me. If you mess up, have the professional courage to say, yes, I messed up. Then you will be looked at as a person who is willing to take risk and who learns from mistakes. Not shies from taking risk because he does not want to make mistakes. If that is the attitude, go join the PSUs. Go join the government sector. In corporate world, if you don't take risk, there is no place. Be collaborative and build on each other's expertise. Very, very important. We are all human beings. We are different from each other. Your friend may have certain strengths which you may not have. So when you work in teams, it's very, very important. You leverage on each other's strengths and therefore you win as a team. Be respectful and polite even when you are in disagreement. Put forward your views in a polite and professional manner. It does not mean that you just simply become a yes man or a yes woman. If you have a difference of opinion, you must put it on table. But there are ways and means of putting it across. You have to acknowledge the organizational hierarchy, and that's the reason why if you put it in a manner which will be appreciated, because you are bringing in different perspective. You are the ones who have studied the latest which is happening in management right now. Probably when I did my MBA about 10 years back, there were things different. Some new concepts would have come. That is what is expected from out of you. When you join corporate, bring that fresh perspective on the table. Be committed to your job and organization. Don't be a job hopper. Job hoppers rise to a certain level and then after that they stagnate. Because your career movements, if they are not making sense, a good recruiter will drill hole into your resume. Very, very important. Do not compare, oh my friend jumped 3 jobs and suddenly he is to this much salary and I am stuck. If his 3 movements did not make sense, on the 4th movement there will be no takers for him. Please understand that also. Work smartly to deliver results effectively and efficiently. Do not put donkey hours on the job. No one will appreciate if you say that I put in 10 hours, I put every day 3 hours, extra hours beyond office time. No one is bothered about it. What is important is the result and the delivery. You can leave at 6:30 sharp if your office ends at 6:30. If your work is on time, the quality is very high, no one is putting a question on you. Follow ethical practices. Very, very important. Never, never, ever compromise. There are organizations, tools available where if a situation demands that even your immediate manager is telling you, you have to do this. Use those tools. Probably you would have heard of tools like whistleblower policy. These are ways and means of checking such rampant malpractices within the organization. Blow the whistle. Do not crumble under pressure and say, okay, my boss is saying so therefore I have to do it. It's not that way. Follow effective documentation process. Very, very important. Even as simple as for your annual appraisals. I see many people failing to even docket what they have done in the entire year. Very simple thing like maintain a performance diary. Keep it with you. Do a good job, record it. So that at the end of the year when you are docketing your performance, you can just refer to your notes and then put it there. You don't lose out on your achievements. Even if your boss is not remembering, if it is objective, if it is quantifiable, put it across as part of your appraisal discussion. Maintain office decorum and believe in teamwork. This in a nutshell basically talks about everything what you should be doing as a professional. If you follow even 90% or 80% of this, you will be a respected and admired professional in whichever organization you work in. Simple things, very difficult to follow. Let me remind you, it looks very simple on the slide. It's very, very difficult to actually follow it. These may change with the organizations, but what I'm trying to capture is when you talk about office decorum, certain things, and I mentioned about code of conduct, most important. So read carefully and ask questions in case of any doubt. Never compromise on ethics and integrity. Office timings, very, very important. Do not take that luxury that I got stuck in traffic jams. Take that, factor it in, accordingly plan your day. You will be respected if you come to office on time every day. Dress code. Again, most commonly flouted activity in corporates. Attendance. Leaves. Simple things. Do not take it for granted that the organization is giving you 30 days of paid leave and 7 days of casual leave and 10 days of sick leave. So it is given whenever you feel like just one fine day morning you want to watch a cricket match, so you tell your boss, I am not feeling well. Right? You may do it once, you may do it twice. After that, you will be termed as a character who cannot even plan something properly. Again, basic things. It is your right, but you should plan because it hampers office work. That is what you need to understand. Suddenly you don't come to office for 2 days. Some activities will be planned in the office and that will suffer. But when you go on a planned holiday or a planned vacation, then things are already handed over or someone is there to look after those activities. That is what I'm trying to convey from this message. Meetings. One of the most wasteful, I would say, exercise in corporate world. When you don't want to do anything, call for a meeting. Right? I'm being very blunt about it. But that's the reality. And many managers actually thrive on it. Because they have to show themselves as busy. So they are always having meetings. There is no purpose of a meeting if it does not fructify into a result. Right? So, please understand, if you are there 8.5 hours in a day, it has to boil down into constructive delivery. Otherwise, you yourself as a professional should be questioning, Aaj maine kya kiya? Have I earned my bread and butter today or not? Have I done justice to myself as a professional or not? Be in that category rather than chalta hai attitude. Oh, one more day gone. That means you are not an engaged employee. You are actually counting your days and waiting for an offer from outside. Right? Engaged employee will look at in terms of how do I maximize my efforts. So simple things, Plan in advance for a meeting, don't call suddenly half an hour notice. Everyone meet in the conference room. The agenda is questionable, the meeting purpose is questionable, and what is going to be the outcome of the meeting is highly questionable. Because then it speaks about how unplanned or how unmanaged the manager is. That is called for a meeting without even respecting the importance of time planning for others. You would have planned your day in terms of I will do this activity on a certain time period. And if your manager calls you, you don't have a choice, you have to go. So therefore all your planning goes for a 6. Send invite to participants required in the meeting. So therefore meeting should be well planned. Define agenda, objectives and outcomes of the meeting. Be fully prepared for the meeting with all required information readily available. That's how you will be a constructive participant in the meeting. Be on time, participate actively, think out of the box and actively contribute to decision making process. Be an active listener. Very, very important. It's not important that you only do the talking. You have to listen to others' point of view and do a rational check. Are you on the right line or you need to change track? Maintain a positive atmosphere. Do not indulge in personal attacks. Very, very important. If you want everyone to participate and contribute, do not get into personal attacks in a meeting. Make a note of actionables emerging from the meeting. Close all action items as per timelines. Seek support in advance in case you are facing any roadblocks. And use each opportunity effectively as a learning opportunity and gain practical knowledge from your colleagues, leveraging their experience. Try to internalize this when you make your entry into whichever corporates you join. It will help you as a professional. It will help you in terms of gaining respect from others who may be 3 years, 4 years your seniors. But they will see the value which you are bringing on the table because most of them lack it. So what we try to do is people who are fresh, it's better to get them on board rather than trying to do something to a person who's already molded himself into a particular frame of mind. Most common way of communication is emails. And most rampantly misused is also emails in corporates. People don't even realize who all are to be marked. Just mark everyone. I am trying to play safe, I am marking to complete Janta. Without realizing that there are people who take offense. Why are you unnecessarily, filling my mailbox? If I am not supposed to be informed, if I am not supposed to action on this, then why was I informed? Why was I marked on that mail? So, when you are shooting a mail, subject should be short, summary of its content. Never respond without subject, avoid being vague or general. You will yourself, when you join, you will see people marking mails without any subject. So when the mail comes to you, you are wondering why. And you may have a tendency that no subject, okay, last priority. It may be very important also. Address to only those who are expected to act. Do not use reply to all. Simple things like, when HR sends happy birthday, someone will reply a whole Janta, okay, wish you all the same. Or someone is leaving, so he is giving a thank you note or something. Someone will reply on that, reply to all. Absolute rubbish. Basics should be understood in terms of why am I writing. It's a way of communication. It's not chatting what you're doing. It's an office way of communicating. Use address in to field for only who are supposed to respond, who are supposed to act. Very, very important. And CC for just informing. What we have done in our organization just to curb this practice, we have restricted, you can put only maximum 6 people in CC. And BCC has been blocked for everyone. So now if you put someone's name unnecessarily into 2, he will pound on you. Because 2 is supposed to be only that person who is supposed to act on that mail. Because we did multiple sessions and it was like an organization culture issue. No, I want to play safe. I will mark everyone. Left, right, center, whoever I am seeing, I am marking everyone there. So if I belong to, let's say, operation and maintenance function, if a mail is going, I will make sure that 40 people in corporate office, all 40 are marked in CC. Why? It does not make sense. Addressing your recipient with appropriate level of formality, never miss on salutation. Dear all or dear colleagues are mostly used in organizations, but in multinationals, people prefer to use hi. Very informal way, but then the reason why they don't use dear is because dear in many countries is supposed to be very intimate. So that's why they don't use dear. So they prefer a hi which does not show any levels of intimacy. Signature and closing. Close with thanks and regards or regards, most commonly used. Include your contact information. So generally when you prepare your signature block, you should have all these details so that any mail you shoot, automatically it goes with that. Do not use fancy fonts or colors, use basic and legible ones. Organizations which focus on brand or branding issues, they make sure that you cannot use any other font or color. It is mandated that your signature has to be in this particular format. And do not use lengthy poetry or quotes in business emails. शायरी का शौक है तो ऑफिस के बाहर बैठ के शायरी कीजिए. Do not use office communication mode to put those quotes showing that okay, I am into poetry. Yes, if your organization has a punchline, then you can use that punchline. But you cannot invent your own punchline into a business communication. And most widely used, attachments. Avoid sending large attachments to multiple recipients. It clogs bandwidth. And use zip files to compress large attachments. Again, if you look at this slide, basics. But what is the most commonly missing thing? Basics. Basics in Yata. And everyone wants to get into strategic roles. Right? First the foundation has to be strong, then only the strategy will happen. Otherwise strategy will remain in the air, foundation missing, the whole building will collapse. Now onwards, I am going to focus on a couple of things which will help you to make your identity into corporates. Certain competencies, I will focus on interpersonal skills, I will focus on communication, and I will focus on teamwork and collaboration. These three, if you get it right, let me guarantee you, you will definitely going to have a successful career. Get these fundamental things right. Don't get bogged down, oh, he talks about such business models I'm not aware of, or I'm not good in analytics, this guy is brilliant, look at his presentations. Boss, nothing works. These three are the fundamentals. If you are missing on interpersonal skills, you are a loner. If you are missing on communication skills, no one is going to listen to you. And if you are weak on teamwork and collaboration, you are isolated. You can start counting your days in the organization. So these three are the mantras for success. Get it, internalize it, and harness it. The more perfect you become, the better professional you will become. How do you improve interpersonal skills? It's not a rocket science. Some basic things you need to do. Yes, I understand some people are born introverts. So they take time in terms of converting themselves from introvert to extrovert. But I guess 2 years of MBA is more than enough. I'm sure. How many consider yourself as introvert here? Hands up. None. Brilliant. Okay, 2 hands. How many were introverts before joining BITM? Hands up. You didn't hire a single introvert. Be true to yourself. In terms of, have you realized the transition which you have made? What you were before joining this B school? And after this 1.5 years, probably 1.5 years of regimentation, are you a different person now? I can't hear you. Yes, sir. So that is what is changing. How have you changed? You've learned from each other, right? You didn't get a curriculum on this, or you didn't get a reading material on this, on interpersonal skills. You picked up from your friends. So what did you do? You leveraged each other's strengths. Basics. That is what you need to do when you step into a corporate career. There will be people who will be very good, who will be extremely extrovert, filled with about 500 and within 30 minutes, you will find them talking intimately with at least 10, 15, 20 people. That's the real test of interpersonal skills. Not that you land up in a room and start, do I know this one? Do I know this one? Do I don't know this one? Let's do a different one. Let's move to a different room. Then you are not good on interpersonal skills. Smile as often as you can. Right? Easiest thing to do. And as per doctor research, the best exercise to do. Because it exercises maximum muscles. Right? Does it take effort? Then why do we frown? Think. Then why do we frown? And try using this people whom you don't like, or people whom you have maximum confrontation. Don't say anything to them. Just smile back. See the fun after that. That guy will be absolutely gone. What to do with this guy? He's smiling at me for no reason. He can't go complaining also why you smiling. Right? Use it. Your enmity in corporate this thing will vanish. Because that guy will go bonkers. If he says something rude to you, smile back to him. If he says even something nastier, even a wider smile. He will not know what is hitting. He'll just walk away. I practice it every day, and I see brilliant results in this. Appreciate others. Always. Even for smallest of appreciate them. Pay attention to others. Very important. I'm sure all of you would have read. Friend in need is a friend indeed. Demonstrate this. Display this. Because खुशी के दिन में सारे दोस्त आते हैं, है ना? जब अकेले पड़ती है तो सारे भाग जाते हैं. तो उस समय जितने आते हैं वही आपके सच्चे दोस्त हैं. That is test of friendship. Do not count your friends. अच्छे वाले दिन में कितने घूम रहे हैं. Listening actively, very important. Unite people. Resolve disagreements. Do not fuel disagreements by adding. उसने तो ऐसे बोल दिया. Never play that politics. Because someday it will boomerang against you also. Communicate clearly. Use humor. Learn to appreciate, and don't complain. Don't crib. Come with solutions. That is what is most appreciated in a corporate. Person who has the maximum solutions to offer is the best employee. The person who always keeps on nagging, ye problem, he is a useless employee. Next is communication skills. Next is communication skills. Key elements are conviction. Key elements are conviction, confidence, and enthusiasm. Conviction is nothing but belief in yourself. Confidence is perceived through your physical presentation, your posture, your body language, talks about your confidence. Enthusiasm adds and stems from the vitality in your speech. You are positive, you think positive, you will speak in that way. Your tone, your pitch, will talk about your enthusiasm level. Body language comprises of eye contact, facial expression, gesture, posture. Tone, inflection, rate of speech, volume, enunciation. This whole piece comprises of non-verbal communication. The way you walk, it makes an impact in terms of how confident you are. How much on top of your job you are in terms of the way you conduct yourself. If you are sitting in a meeting and if you are highly positive, you know everything at the back of your hand, your stance, your posture will be different. If you don't know and you know that you might get exposed, you will be defensive. Your shoulders will droop. You look left, right, center, how to hide yourself. Right? In your project presentations, this happens or not? When you're getting evaluated. If you are well prepared, thorough, then you will be all charging, okay, let's go for it. If you're not well rehearsed, you will be standing behind, okay, tu present kar de yaar, main. Am I right? Style of communication. Rampant. This is Indian culture. मैं बोल दिया, बस बोल दिया. करना ही पड़ेगा. There is no other option. Because I factor is most important. We Indians thrive on I factor. हम नहीं तो कुछ नहीं. Right? जिसको देखो, पॉलिटिशियन को देखो, स्पोर्ट्समैन को देखो, सब देखो, आई फैक्टर. Whereas when you go to system, American system, they seldomly use I. They always talk about we. I have worked with a Russian company and my connotation changed in terms of I used to think only Indians are ruthless managers. And I'm working closely with the president of MTS. He's a Russian guy. He talks English, speaks English in a very that typical tone. And where is my friend? He's gone out. He was conducting, I think it was my first week of joining, and he called a management review meet. This was in the nation days. I'm talking about August 2008. So MTS was trying to get their act together in terms of launching. Everyone was there. CIO, CTO, name it. Everyone was sitting in the room. Half of them were Finns. German, Russian. And this guy very meticulously, he's the president of the company. He's sitting with a notebook and noting down and talking and listening, everything done. All round, everyone gives their updates, and while giving their updates only, they were realizing that things are not hunky-dory. We are slipping on tats. And then, after everyone is through, then he gets up and just try to imitate him. Okay? In that very difficult Russian accent, I'll try to imitate. Friends, this is not picnic happening. We are into serious situation. Timelines, as far as me is concerned, is written in blood. If you fail to deliver on the timeline, then we are all matured professionals. You know
what to do, I know what to do.
I expect if there are roadblocks, please come to me even 5 minutes before the timeline expires. I am willing to listen. After timeline, I am not going to listen. You will be explained. And I felt the message was so powerful. And he didn't use any of the Indian problems of, shouting, yelling. But the message was very, very clear. 5 minutes, everyone knew, boss, get your act together, this guy means business. So that is what is the power of communication. How you use it is very, very important. You don't have to be aggressive. What I just demonstrated was assertive communication. Very, very clear. No ambiguity, right? That is what all of us need to aspire. What is aggressive? You need to be aggressive, but not aggressive in terms of communication. You need to be aggressive in terms of reaching your goals, right? Pushing to get what you want and perhaps stepping on the feelings and needs of others to get there. One tends to show a lack of respect for others. Common examples: pushy, demanding, thoughtless, unyielding, angry, loud, violent, forceful, hostile, destructive, belligerent, antagonistic, forceful, insistent, hardline, uncompromising, walks over others. These are the normal features of an aggressive communication style. What you end up doing? I win, you lose. I factor. To hell with you. I am driving this agenda and I will make it happen. I care a damn about your problems. Do not follow this. Next is passive. Do not come into this group also, because then always you will be bulldozed. Giving in and bending to the needs of others at your own expense. You show a lack of respect for yourself. Common examples: inert, inactive, indecisive, unreceptive, submissive, sedentary, sluggish, lifeless, compliant, subservient, docile, meek, timid, rarely express opinions, shy, anxious, tries to please others. Enough common examples? What happens? You win, I lose. I give it up. Do not follow this. The best way of communicating. Assertive. Working toward meeting your needs as well as others. What is this called? Collaboration. Assertive behavior looks for and offers open, honest and direct communication. Self-confident, self-assured, confident, firm, forceful, forward, pushy, aggressive, open, honest, direct, calm, firm. They are the common examples of assertiveness. What happens? I win, you win. So if everyone wins, then who wins? The team wins. What are the benefits? Leaves no scope for griping or resentment to foster. Improves the chances of finding a win-win situation. Reduces unproductive communication. Increases problem-solving time. Increases self-esteem and personal sense of control. Promotes your ideas, products and services. Fosters team building. Helps develop positive experience. Helps openness and clarity in feelings and issues. And helps develop commitment. So be open, direct and honest. Now I'll give you certain common examples from corporate. Which example is this? Now I'm not saying which animal is this. Which behavior is this? Yeah. Shark competing. I win, you lose. To hell with you. You will find plenty of such sharks roaming around in the corporate world. Which example is this? Come on, I can't hear. Turtle, avoiding. No winners, no losers. चलता है, चलेगा, चलता रहेगा. Then you will keep on watching only that movie, Chalte Chalte. What is this? Teddy bear, accommodating. What is this? I know it is owl, but collaborating, win-win. So these 5 are the common sets you will find when you make your journey into the corporate world. Beware of the sharks. Do not become a turtle, and try not to become a teddy bear also. Most important, Indian companies don't give value to body language, but multinationals are very, they hold it to very high importance. Your interview selection process starts with that. The way you arrive at the reception, the way you conduct yourself for the first 5-10 minutes while you're waiting for your turn to come, you are being observed. And then the way you enter the room, the way you shake hands, your mannerism, everything is noticed. Because that is something you cannot act. That is what you are. And if you can act, then you are in a wrong profession. Then you should go and join Bollywood. It is the communication of personal feelings, emotions, attitudes, thoughts through body movements. Includes our facial expressions, gestures, eye contact, posture, and even the tone of our voice. Non-verbal communication plays a bigger role in conveying and expressing thoughts and ideas than verbal communication. Helps connect with others, express what we really mean, navigate challenging situations, and build better working relationships. What are the aspects of body language? Gestures, body movements, behavior, and emotions. Key role of body language. Repetition. They can repeat the message the person is making verbally. Contradiction. They can contradict a message the individual is trying to convey. You're trying to say something which you don't believe internally. Your body language will defeat you. Substitution. They can substitute for a verbal message. A person's eyes can often convey a far more vivid message than words and often do. Complimenting. They may add to or complement a verbal message. A boss who pats a person on the back to give praise can increase the impact of the message. Accenting. They may accent or underline a verbal message. Example, pounding the table, for example, can underline a message. When you do all that, then you're moving towards team building. So how do you do team building? First you have to develop rapport. What is rapport? A relationship of mutual understanding or trust and agreement between people. Rapport also means making a connection, establishing a relationship. How do you build rapport? Keep a you focus. Most humans love to talk about themselves. Talk about others. Listen well and ask relevant questions. Speak the same language as your customer. Use the customer's name during the conversation, at least 3-4 times. That's when you break the a friend for life. Be innovative, out-of-box thinking, and leverage your analytical skills. So what you study here in college, what QT, quantitative techniques, yeah, and you also do market research, MR, hold that close to your heart and follow that rather than the majority who follow their gut feel, saying that my experience says that this will happen. Gut feel falls flat on their face if this is not researched well or if it is not supported by data. So always try to be as much analytical, try to get as much data, and then that's the only linkage which I also till date see, that linkage of B school, this thing, all that gyan which I heard about and read about HR, different connotations. But QT and MR do not change. They are fundamentals. If I have to roll out a OD intervention successfully, I have to get the basics right. I have to understand the pulse of the organization right. What the employees are expecting if I don't know that OD intervention is like this. As simple as that.